In the heart of ancient Rome, a man rose whose name would echo through history, Julius Caesar. He was not born a king, but through ambition, intelligence, and sheer determination, he became one of the most powerful figures the world had ever seen. Caesar proved himself on the battlefield, especially during his campaigns in Gaul, where he conquered vast lands and earned the unwavering loyalty of his soldiers. To them, he was more than a general, he was a legend, but Rome was not a kingdom. It was a republic, built on laws and shared power. And as Caesar's influence grew, so did the fear among the senators who governed Rome. The moment that changed everything came when Caesar made a bold and dangerous decision. He crossed the Rubicon River with his army. It was an act of defiance against Rome itself, a declaration that he was willing to challenge the Republic for power. Civil war followed, and when it ended, Caesar stood victorious. There was no longer anyone strong enough to oppose him. Soon after, Caesar was declared dictator for life. To the common people, this meant stability and strong leadership. But to many senators, it was a sign that Rome's freedom was dying. They feared that Caesar intended to crown himself king, something Romans had hated for centuries. Quietly, in the shadows of the Senate, a conspiracy began to form, a plan to assassinate the most powerful man in Rome. Among the conspirators was a man who made the plot even more tragic, Marcus Junius Brutus. Brutus was not just another senator. He was close to Caesar, trusted by him, and respected by many. Some even believed Caesar loved him like a son. At first, Brutus struggled with the idea of betrayal. He knew what Caesar had done for Rome, but he also believed that no man should hold so much power. Torn between loyalty and what he believed was duty to Rome, Brutus made a choice that would define history. He joined the conspirators. The day of reckoning came on the Ides of March, March 15, 44 BC. Caesar had been warned to be careful, but he dismissed the danger. Confident and unafraid, he walked into the Senate meeting held at the Theater of Pompey. The senators greeted him as usual, hiding their deadly intentions behind calm faces. Then, without warning, the attack began. One senator stepped forward and struck Caesar with a dagger. At first, confusion filled the room, but within seconds, chaos erupted. More senators joined in, surrounding Caesar, each taking turns stabbing him. He tried to defend himself, shocked that the men he trusted had turned against him. But the number of attackers was overwhelming, and then, in the midst of the violence, Caesar saw a face that stopped him completely. Brutus. For a moment, everything changed. The struggle, the fear, the anger, all faded into disbelief. The man he trusted most stood among his attackers, holding a blade. In that heartbreaking instant, Caesar is said to have uttered the words that would become immortal, "You too, Brutus." It was not just a question, it was a realization. The betrayal cut deeper than any knife. After that moment, Caesar stopped resisting. He no longer fought back. As the daggers continued to fall, he collapsed at the base of a statue, his life fading away. The greatest man in Rome had been brought down not by enemies on the battlefield, but by those closest to him. The conspirators believed they had saved the Republic. They thought that by killing Caesar, they would restore freedom to Rome. But instead of peace, their actions plunged the city into even greater chaos. Civil war broke out once again, and from that turmoil emerged a new leader, Augustus, Caesar's adopted son. In the end, Rome did not return to a republic. It became an empire, and so, the story of Julius Caesar remains one of the most powerful lessons in history, a story of ambition, power, loyalty, and ultimate betrayal. He was betrayed by his closet friend Brutus.